Okay, so today we are going to discuss Prim's algorithm. So Prim's algorithm used for finding minimum spanning tree. So as you have seen in the last class that we have, one second. So in the last class you have seen Kruskal algorithm. Kruskal algorithm also used to find the minimum spanning tree, and we have discussed how it works. Today we are going to discuss Prim's algorithm. This is also quite popular algorithm, especially in data structure. So in computer science, Prim's, also known as Jarnik's algorithm, is a greedy algorithm. All these methods, Prim's, Kruskal, and Dijkstra, those three algorithms that we are going to discuss, all are greedy method. Okay, that finds a minimum spanning tree for a weighted undirected graph. So what are the criteria? You cannot have directed graph. First of all, it is an undirected graph, and it has to be weighted. What is the meaning of weighted? The graph that you will be taking should have some weight, whatever is 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever the value. It should have some value. Okay, it should have some values. So let's say 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. Okay, so this is a graph. From this graph we have to apply this Prim's algorithm, and we have to find a minimum spanning tree. Okay, this means sorry, this means it finds a subset. This means it finds a subset of the edges that forms a tree that includes every vertex. Now in all this minimum spanning tree, you can skip the edge which is having maximum weight or higher value. You will be able to skip the edges, but you cannot skip any vertices. Okay, so every vertex has to be visited, every vertex. So that means if you are applying Prim's algorithm or Kruskal or Dijkstra, anything, all vertices has to be visited. There is no, you cannot skip any vertex. Okay, all vertices has to be visited, but you can skip some of the edges. The edges which contains maximum weight has to be excluded from your visit. Then only you will get minimum spanning tree, because ultimately the intention is to go from source to destination maybe. Okay, so on that source to destination, which are the edges will participate, those are having minimum weight, but all the vertices has to be touched upon at least once. Okay, so every vertex has to be visited, where the total weight of all edges in the tree is minimized. So this is a minimization problem. You can see this is a minimization problem. The total weight of the traversal has to be minimum. There is no point. And then what are the application of it? We have already seen in the last class that Kruskal algorithm is is useful in case of no electric wire fixing, or no minimum distance from one place to another place, one house to another house, when fixing the electric wires and all these things. Okay, installations, that time this Kruskal algorithm is used. That may be another application, that may be one of the applications. This same goes for Prim's algorithm also. Okay, the algorithm operates by building this tree one vertex at a time from an arbitrary starting vertex. So here one thing is there in case of Prim's algorithm, is that you can choose any arbitrary vertex, starting vertex, at each step adding the cheapest possible connections. Now from wherever you start, you start picking the cheapest edge, cheapest connection from there onwards. Okay, that choice of starting vertex is arbitrary. That choice of starting vertex is arbitrary. Okay, you can choose any vertex. There is no hard and fast rule that you have to start from here. Whichever vertex you got, you have to start from. There is no such rule. You can choose any vertex at your starting point, but then you have to visit all the vertices, and then you have to reach to the final vertex. Okay, at each step adding the cheapest possible connections from the tree to another vertex. So this is the background of Prim's algorithm. So these algorithms actually also known as Jarnik's algorithm, that we are going to see why this name of Jarnik's has been come up, because he has invented this algorithm. So this algorithm was developed in 1930, quite long time ago, by Czech mathematician Jarnik, okay, Wojtek Jarnik, and later rediscovered and republished by computer scientist Robert C. Prim. So initially it was Jarnik algorithm, and then it has rediscovered by Robert C. Prim in 1957 and Dijkstra in 1959. So Dijkstra algorithm, you will find this person Dijkstra. He has invented lot of algorithms. Those are there in theoretical computer science, in graph theory. Dijkstra is a famous name. We are going to find Dijkstra algorithm also, how it works, in the next class. Okay, but see, initially it was initiated by Jarnik, and then later rediscovered by republished by computer scientist Robert C. Prims. That's why it is known as Prim's algorithm in 1957 and 1959. Dijkstra, both the scientists have rediscovered in 1957 and 1959, in the year, these 2 years respectively. Okay, therefore it is also sometimes called Jarnik's algorithm, Prim's Jarnik's algorithm, Prim's Dijkstra algorithm. Okay, okay, of the DJP algorithm. That means Dijkstra, Jarnik, Prims. Okay, so this is the background of this algorithm. So initially it was initiated by Jarnik. Okay, he was a Czech mathematician. Other well-known algorithms for these problems include Kruskal's algorithm and Borufka's algorithm. So Kruskal algorithm already you have seen. Borufka's algorithm also will be little bit similarity will be there with the Kruskal, I hope, but it is not there in the syllabus, so we are not going to discuss Borufka's algorithm. But Kruskal algorithm we have already seen. Kruskal algorithm we have already seen in the last class. This algorithm also little bit similar to Kruskal algorithm. These algorithms find the minimum spanning tree forest in a possibly disconnected graph. Okay. In contrast, the most basic form of Prim's algorithm only finds minimum spanning tree in connected graph. So they are saying the difference between Borufka's algorithm and Kruskal algorithm. Okay. So Borufka's algorithm and Kruskal algorithm, they might be implemented in disconnected graph. So disconnected graph means there is no connection. Maybe one vertices is isolated or something like that. That is called disconnected graph. But in case of the connected graph means it is connected. Okay, connected graph means all the edges, all the vertices are connected to each other. There is no isolated vertex. So if let's say this is the isolated vertex, in this case Prim's algorithm is not applicable. Okay, if there is an isolated vertex. But in such cases, I think Borufka's algorithm will be applicable, or maybe Kruskal also. Okay. Okay. However, running Prim's algorithm separately for each connected component of the graph, it can also be used for finding minimum spanning forest. So anyway, these are the things, little bit background of the Prim's algorithm. Now, so you understood who has invented, what is the background of Prim's algorithm, and what are the similar type of algorithms available, and also this Prim's algorithm is not applicable for disconnected graph, and it is also applicable for only undirected graph, I suppose, undirected graph. Okay, so however, so let's see in the next what Prim's algorithm is. So how it works: remove all parallel edges and loop, choose any random node to start. You can choose any random node to start. Check out the outgoing edges and select the one with least cost. Okay. Here, so in the algorithm it is remove all parallel edges. Choose any random node to start. That is fine. And check out the outgoing edges and select the one with least cost. Now this outgoing edges is not that the vertices that you have visited, meaning is that
let's say you have started with A and you have reached B, and let's say A has two options, like this. Let's say this is 4, this is 2. So obviously you will be choosing this one for sure, and there is no harm choosing any vertex, as you know that randomly you can choose any vertex. So you can reach from A to B and then whatever. But when you reach B, what I told that you have to start from B. It is not like that. You have to start from B for sure, but you have to check the edges that are incident upon A as well. So that means you have to find the all combination. Like let us say you have reached from A to B, and then you have reached B, and now you are going to consider, let's say this is 10, let's say there is another edge, let's say it is let's say 8. Okay, so in this scenario you can obviously choosing whichever the minimum one. Also you have to choose the edges from A. This edge also you have to choose. Once you reach here, let's say you are reaching, let's say this is let's say this is 1, this is 8, so you will be obviously reaching over here, and after reaching this place, let's say A, B, C, this is C, this is D. Once you reach D, then from here once you reach C, from here you have to again, when you start from C, you have to again look at this edge, also this edge. So let me give you one example so that you can understand this. Okay, okay, so what we'll do, I'll take one example. Okay, so let's take one graph. Okay, so here you can see that this is our graph. Now let's apply Prim's algorithm. Okay, so the catch is, because today morning while solving one problem I found this thing actually, one gate problem I was trying to solve, there I found this difficulty. That's why I want to address this issue. So once you start from A to B, let's start. So B, because you can start from any vertex, doesn't matter. I mean, it's a random thing you can choose. So let's start from A. If you start from A, let me make it black. So you are starting from A. So you have option 6 and you have option 7. So obviously you will be choosing 6. So 6 you are going this side, so you will be reaching over there. Okay, and you have reached B. So first vertex visited is A, then you have visited B, because B has constituting A and B and constituting minimum cost edge. So this is 6. After you reach B, what I said in the last class, that from B you have to proceed. It's not like that. B obviously you have to proceed. So what are the options B are having? B has option BD, this one and this one. So among these 5 and 2, obviously 2 is minimum. So we will be choosing this one. But when seeing the vertex, when seeing the edges, we also have to look after this edge. This A and C also you have to look after. That means whatever the possible edges are there, that are there on that particular time, which is not visited. I mean, the vertices are visited, but the edges, the corresponding edges are not visited. Those edges also you have to consider. That means you have to consider among 5, this one, then 2, and then 7, these 3. Okay. So among these all, this one is the minimum. So obviously you will be choosing this. So you are reaching there. Once you reach C, now you have visited, so B to C you have visited. Okay. Now once you visit C, then what are the options you have? You have option CE, this option is there. Then you have option CD, and you also should look at BD and AC. BD and AC also you have to look at it. Okay. So here, so if you see C, if you see CD, and if you see AC and BD, out of this, all of this is the minimum. Which one is the minimum? CE is the minimum. CE. So you can make a bold line here, CE. So now our graph, our path is becoming like this, the spanning tree. This is A, this is B, and this is C, and this is E. Okay, so C and then E. Okay, now you have come to E. You have come to E. Now from here onwards, E, you have option this one, EF, you have option ED. Also you have to look at CD, and AC and BD. These edges also you have to look at it. Okay. So here, which are the edges we have? We have ED and EF, and BD and CD and AC. Out of this all, you can see that ED and EF are the minimum. So either of the things you can choose, either of the edges you can choose. Let us choose this one, because both are same. So let us choose this EF. So EF you are choosing, which is nothing but 1. CE is nothing but 2. BC is nothing but 2. And AB is nothing but 6. Okay. This is a, so now you have EF. So here you are visiting this also, EF. And finally, what are the options you have? From F you have option FD, and also this one you have to consider, that means ED, BD and AC and CD. Out of this all, you can see this is the minimum, which is ED. Sorry. So this is what the algorithm says, that you have to visit all the vertices. Okay, so we have visited all the vertices. Not all the edges we have visited. We have visited A, B, and we have visited B, C, and we have visited C, E, and we have visited EF, and we have visited ED. Okay, so this is the situation we have. So your visited vertices are this F and then finally D. Okay, this is what. So this is EF. Okay. EF is 1 and EDF. EF is 1 and yeah, and EF and ED, whatever. So D also you have to write here. So you can write it ED. ED is also 1. Okay. Time complexity already I have discussed. Time complexity is nothing but time complexity of Prim's algorithm depends on the data structure used for the graph and for ordering the edges by weight, which can be done using priority queue. The following table shows the typical choices. So first one is adjacency matrix and searching, which takes O V square. Binary heap and adjacency least views that takes around O V plus E log V, which is equal to O E log V, and Fibonacci heap and adjacency least views, which is nothing but O E plus V log V. So this one is quite similar with Kruskal algorithm as well, because in Kruskal you must have seen that E log V is there in the Kruskal also, E log V or V log V. Okay, so this is how this algorithm works. Okay. Now, if we see some of the problems, standard problem which has come in many exams, we can understand it better. Let's say this is question number 1. So you can see that it has many edges, okay, and using Prim's algorithm to construct a minimum spanning tree starting with a node A, which one of the following sequences of edges represents a possible order in which the edges would be added to construct the minimum spanning tree. Okay, so this is a gate question, I suppose. So how to solve it? So first one is that first option, which is EG, it is starting from E, no problem, you can start from anywhere. So EG, where is G? This one, EG, which is 2. Okay, then CF. So CF, so E has 2 options, this and this. E has 2 options, this and this. EC and EG. EG you have picked, but in the second that this or this condition is CF. CF is like this one. How come I visit this CF? It's not possible using Prim's at least, because it has to. If it has to visit CF, then it has to visit EC. It has to come to C, right? It didn't come to C. It has only visited this edge, which is nothing but EG, right? So I think the first option might not be correct, because after EG, this one, we have to. So what vertices we can visit? We can either visit GF, or we can visit EC, or you can visit EB. But here in the option, it is CF. CF is this one. This one, how can you visit? You cannot visit this one, right? So I'm guessing that this is not the option. The first option might not be correct. So let's see the next option. Next is this one, AD. So AD, this one, which is correct. Sorry. One second. So I can see that AD, this one is okay. Out of 22, 10 and this one 7, this is the minimum. So visit AD, no issue. I'm talking about this is wrong. I'm talking about this option. option B. After AD, then AB, which is also seems to be correct because okay. Now after this AD, I have 22, 26 for D it is 22, 26 because I visited this, and for A options are there this 10, 22. So obviously 10 is the minimum. I can visit A, B, no problem. Okay. A, B I visited. Then A, B I visited. So now I have the option this. I have option this, and then this also option because I visited B. This also option I visited. So 49, 30, 22, 26, and then 22. These all options are there. So I have visited. After that AC. Let me see whether AC is okay. AC is correct because it is a tie between 22, 22. Either you can choose this or you can choose this. So I won't be choosing this. One second. So I will be. Let us choose this one. No issue. No problem. Until now, no problem is there. So I can go here. So this is 10. This is 7. This is 22. And you have visited C, and after that AC you have visited, then you have visited CF. Okay, so now let's CF. So what are the options we have? I have visited this I haven't visited, so I will rub it. This I haven't visited, right? Okay, so now what are the options we have? We have after AC it is saying that okay CF, that means this one CF is 4. Okay, fine, no problem. CF is 4. CE also there, which is 10. Then obviously B is there, then BC is there, then what? Then DC is there, 26. So out of these all options, it seems that this one is minimum. So let's choose this one. No problem because this is 4. So this is F has been visited. So this also seems to be correct. CF is correct. After CF, now the problem starts. CF, GE. How come? CF. So this vertex has been visited. Now they are saying GE. This one. But for GE, we have to visit either E or G. We haven't visited, so this option is gone. What about this? 1 second. So C option, as your friend said, is wrong because A, B, no problem. Acha, A, B is, how come it is possible? We have A, D, we have, so this is also wrong. So option D is left out. We have to see. Sometimes maybe 4 options might. It's a very rare case. Gate problem, normally they never give such kind of thing. So A, D. Okay, A, D is correct. It seems correct. Wait. D, F. Okay, no, because 22 we have tie up. So 22. This is also, it seems to be correct. D, F. Then FC is very correct. FC is very correct because this is 4. Then FG. Okay, FG. This is also correct, man. This is also correct. FG. And then finally GE. Oh, nice. So this has come nice. So this is the situation we have. Okay, so this also has been, all vertices has been visited. If you see here, this is B, this is A, this is D, this is C, and then this is F, and then this is G. Okay, and this is E. So all vertices has been visited. So this is 10, this is 7, this is 22, this is 5, this is I think it is 2, I guess. What is that? 2. 2. So this is 2, and then this is 4. Nicely solved, students. Gate problem has been cracked. Okay. So in the morning batch, while solving the problem, I found this thing. With the algorithm, I just said that whichever vertex you visit, you keep visiting from that vertex. It is not that the case. You have to see the other vertices which are remaining. Maybe sometimes you can get a minimum edges from that vertex as well. Okay. So this is fine, and the time complexity already I just explained. Okay. Now let us solve one problem of Kruskal, which I taught day before yesterday. Kruskal. So in Kruskal algorithm, what happens? Kruskal algorithm is random stuff. You can visit any vertex, any edges. So let's start here with the first option, which is AB. Okay, find AB, no issue. Then DF. So Kruskal, you can randomly choose any pair of vertices and any edge. So AB is fine, no issue. A is having minimum one, and I think it's Kruskal. Yeah, Kruskal. First we arrange this, right? Do you remember the Kruskal algorithm? What do we do? First we arrange the edges in ascending order, right? So it is easy. So we have, if you arrange it, then I think AB, then 1, then 2, C, D, DF, AB, and then DF, and then you have CD, then which else? Okay, then you have CD, then BC. If I mistake, you just tell me, students. BC, and then you have okay, there are parallel edges. This is gone, so parallel edges, this has to be, yeah, parallel edges you have to delete. Both the cases, okay, yeah, parallel edge has to be deleted. Okay, delete it. Let's delete it. But this is a parallel edge among 3 vertices. Anyway, no issue. Even though this is the case, we have to delete it. Okay, loop. It's a loop kind of thing. So BC is 3, and then we have CE, BD, and then.
So parallel edges are between 2 vertices.
No, it's not necessarily. I think this is also you can consider as parallel edges.
Because sir, if we take like for 3 vertices, then the weight of that.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. You are somewhat correct. You are saying that these 2 is constituting 4 and 4 plus 1 5, but this is actually 2. So instead of we cannot delete these connections. I think it has to be deleted. Anyway,
Yes, sir.
ignoring this parallel edge, let us ignoring this edge. Let us see. I'll get back to it later on. Your
sir.
question also valid. You are saying that, sir, this is 4, this is 1, so this is total 5. Now this is 2, so better to keep this one. Instead you can delete this one, but this is a direct connection between 2 edges. Whether you can delete direct connection between 2 edges or not, we have to see. Whatever we have learned that among 2 vertices, if parallel edge is there, the maximum one will be deleted, right? That is what we have learned. But anyway, considering this is a parallel edge, let us delete it. Okay, for the timing, I understood your query. I'll get back to it. This is a problem specific stuff. So this is also gate problem. Okay, so everything is gate problem only. So CE is 4, and then BD is 4, and then you have 4, and then EF, and then you have AC. Anything has been missed out from? Just tell me. How many edges? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One edge is missing. Missing which one? DF is there. DF is there. BD is there.
The BF is missing. FB.
FB. No, FB is we are deleting it, right? FB we are deleting the parallel edge. Okay, but still we should have 1, 2, 3, 4
So because FB is given in the option, sir.
is given, then you have to consider
FB
it.
is given in all the options.
Okay, one second. FB is given means okay, it's given. So I don't think it is a parallel edge, direct edge, student. Sorry, it's not a parallel edge at all. It is not a parallel edge. It's a simple edge. Okay, it's not a parallel edge. I think so. It's not a parallel edge at all. It's not even loop. Okay, so fine. So first it is AB. AB is 1. Then DF. This is also one, no problem. We can choose this. Then BF is 2. We can have. What is the problem? If we have it, anything else? BF. Okay, BF also we can have. DC. DC. DC also you can have. DC and then finally DF. DE. Okay, so situation is something like this. This. Okay, and then this, and then this. This is D, and then this is C. Okay, and then this is E. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 1, this is 3, this is 2. Okay, so what is the cost? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. In this case cost is 9. Students, correct only cost is 9, students. Is it okay? This one?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so what about the next one? Next one is AB. This one. AB is coming every time, so AB must be in the answer. This is another way to cracking gate problem. Okay, AB. Then DF. AB, DF. Okay, this DF also coming, no issue. DF. This is also done. DC also done. So this is A, B is 1, DF is 1, DC. Student, here some problem is because we have 2. So we are considering DC here, right? This is wrong, right, students? Yes or no? This one?
Why, sir?
Because DC is, oh sorry, this is DC also. Oh, wrongly written, sorry. No, it can come. But DC should not be here. DC should not. DC is here only. I'm sorry. So DC is 2. Okay, DC. Then BF is 3. Sorry, BF is not this one. What is BF? BF is this one.
BF is 2.
Yeah, BF is 2, this one. But in this case, why I am visiting B and F? BF already has been visited. What is the need? I mean, once again. So what it says that after this BF, can I visit BF or not? That is the question. I can visit, I think, no problem. BF, yeah, I can visit BF. So, but if I visit B and F, D is 3.
It can be visited, na, sir.
Yeah, 1 second.
Because the
but
graphs will be connected.
Yeah, but 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Here also 9. What about this one? Which cannot be the sequence. So this is a probable sequence. This is also probable sequence. You also saying the third one also. But let us say
Yes.
take the fourth one, DF. So once again, so DF. What is D? So DF. This one, which is 1, and then AB. This is AB. AB is nothing but 1, and then BF. This is 2, and then DE. I think.
So D is wrong because there is 2.
Yeah. D is 3. We have option of 2, so this is wrong, students. So this is the correct answer, students. Okay, very nice. All of you are able to solve 2 mark questions of GATE. I hope you